Have you ever wondered why, after thousands of years of trade, money, markets, and crises, humanity still seems genuinely shocked every time an economic collapse happens? Why does every generation believe this time is different, and why does it almost never turn out to be true? Here is the mystery that should bother you. Economic disasters rarely happen because people lack information. They happen because people believe in comforting illusions, even when history is shouting warnings in plain sight. We invent new financial products, rename old risks, update the technology, and change the language. But beneath the surface, the same economic illusions return again and again. And humanity keeps falling for them, not because people are foolish, but because the illusion feels safe. Tonight, we are going to trace that pattern from its earliest beginnings to the modern world. We will see how these illusions are born, how they grow, where they break, and why the attempted fixes almost always fail. And by the end, you may realize something deeply unsettling. The most dangerous economic illusion is not created by banks, governments, or elites. It is created inside the human mind. Welcome to its financial history too. Human beings have always searched for certainty in an uncertain world. Long before stock markets or central banks existed, people feared famine, scarcity, and loss. Early economic systems were built as answers to those fears. Temples stored grain. Kings controlled coinage. Rulers promised stability in exchange for trust. From the very beginning, economics was not just about exchange, it was about belief. In ancient Mesopotamia, centralized grain systems gave people the feeling that hunger could be managed forever. In Rome, emperors diluted gold and silver coins while insisting prosperity would continue. In medieval Europe, monarchs borrowed endlessly while assuring their kingdoms that growth would pay for everything tomorrow. Every system carried the same silent promise. We have found a way to escape economic limits, and every time, reality eventually pushed back. But here is the twist most people miss. When these systems collapsed, societies did not abandon the illusion itself. They abandoned the version of it. The belief remained, waiting to be reborn in a new form. As economies grew more complex, values slowly detached from physical reality. At first, wealth was obvious and measurable: land, livestock, labor, metal. You could not fake a harvest. You could not print wheat. Limits were visible and unavoidable. Then money became symbolic. Coins turned into paper. Paper turned into numbers. Numbers turned into promises. Debt allowed future productivity to be spent today. Credit allowed risk to be postponed. Financial instruments allowed danger to be hidden beneath layers of complexity. And once value became abstract, something intoxicating happened. Symbols could expand faster than reality. The illusion was not that debt existed. Debt has always existed. The illusion was that debt no longer mattered. Every major economic illusion grows the same way. First comes confidence. People believe the system is stable because everyone around them believes it is. Trust spreads socially, not logically. Then comes complexity. The system becomes so complicated that only specialists can explain it, and even they disagree. When understanding disappears, trust takes its place. Finally comes moral permission. A story forms explaining why old warnings no longer apply. New theories. New math, new technology. A new era. This is how bubbles form without looking like bubbles. During the rise of early banking empires, credit expansion was framed as progress. During speculative manias like the South Sea bubble, debt was justified as innovation. During industrial booms, leverage was celebrated as efficiency. Before the 2008 financial crisis, risk was declared distributed, managed, and under control. Each time, critics were dismissed as outdated, pessimistic, or incapable of understanding modern finance. Economic illusions do not spread because they are stupid. They spread because they sound intelligent. But reality does not negotiate with narratives. The breaking point always begins quietly. Debt grows faster than income. Asset prices rise faster than productivity. Wages stagnate while financial profits soar. These signals are ignored because they contradict the comforting story. Then pressure arrives. Sometimes it is war. Sometimes a pandemic. Sometimes interest rates rise. Sometimes a single institution fails. And suddenly, assumptions are tested. Markets do not collapse because reality changes overnight. They collapse because belief does. The moment people stop believing the system is safe, everyone tries to leave at the same time, and exits, by definition, are limited. What looked like stability was actually synchronized trust. When trust breaks, liquidity vanishes, prices fall, and panic replaces confidence. After every collapse, the same social pattern follows. Those closest to the creation of the illusion are protected through bailouts, restructurings, or political power. Those farthest from decision-making absorb the damage. Savings lose value. Jobs disappear, retirement plans evaporate. Social trust erodes. And the public is told familiar phrases. No one could have seen this coming. This was a once-in-a-generation event. Lessons have been learned. History quietly disagrees. The fallout is not an accident. It is the cost of believing in systems that promise reward without consequence. Reforms always follow. Regulations are written. Oversight bodies are created. Safeguards are announced. For a time they work. But most reforms focus on the surface mechanics of the collapse, not the psychological engine behind it. They regulate products, not beliefs. They adjust incentives, not human nature, and human nature remains unchanged. People still chase high returns with minimal risk. They still trust authority over skepticism. They still prefer reassuring narratives over uncomfortable truths, so the structure beneath the system stays the same. Only the packaging changes. Eventually, the illusion returns under a new name. Today's economy feels advanced, digital, data-driven, sophisticated. But look closely, and the pattern is familiar. Debt expands faster than real productivity. Asset prices detach from everyday life. Financial markets react more to stories than fundamentals. Confidence rises not because risk is gone, but because it feels distant. Once again, a generation is told it is living in a new era, and once again, history watches patiently. So why do humans keep falling for the same economic illusions? Because these illusions do not exploit ignorance. They exploit hope. They promise that scarcity can be bypassed, that risk can be eliminated, that growth can continue forever, that consequences can be delayed indefinitely. And humans desperately want those things to be true. There are three truths worth holding on to. First, economic systems fail when belief replaces understanding. If something cannot be explained simply, trusting it blindly is dangerous. Second, every promise of risk-free reward is a warning sign. History has never produced wealth without trade-offs. Third, the most powerful economic illusion is collective agreement. When everyone believes something, questioning it feels irrational until the moment it collapses. The greatest danger is not the next financial crash. The greatest danger is the belief that we are smarter than those who came before us. Because the moment we believe that, we stop learning and start repeating. If this story made you uncomfortable, that is a good sign. Discomfort is often the first step toward clarity. If you want to understand the hidden patterns shaping money, power, and history, stay curious, question assumptions, and keep learning. Because economic illusions only survive as long as no one asks why.